Hey, this is Dave at HouseBurners.com. Today we're going to unpack the rigid 7-inch wet tile saw with stand and give it a trial run, see how it works. We're in the middle of a tile job and we decided to upgrade to this saw. The other one was getting a little tired. We had a Cobalt tabletop saw before. And so let's see how this works. One thing that's nice about this is the legs are adjustable with a pin right there, and that's a pretty nice feature. I think the highest you can go is 36 inches, which is what we'll keep it at. It looks like it's a powder coated frame. Here's a tray, and then the pump goes here, and it's separated, has a little raised border around it, and that would keep some of the heavier sediment, once you cut the tile, out of the pump area. It's got a drain plug right there. These feel like plastic wheels. They all seem they spin pretty well. Yay, it comes with a blade. I bought an extra one just in case, but we'll start with that one. And that's a pretty substantial piece of equipment right there. Real solid. And then this tube and this tube are to wet either side of the saw blade, which is nice. The previous saw that we had, the blade sat in a pool of water as it spun and picked up the water, and this injects the water onto the blade. And then these are your rails for that tray to run on. Yeah, that's the pump for the water. We'll get to that in a bit. Locking pins, there are 3 slots, 3 holes. We'll go to the top one, so the table's at its highest. The stand just is going to sit in that groove on either side. Put that side in like so. And that like so. That's as far as the stand can go down because of that right there. So it's pretty stable. And if you need to move it, you can just lift this off and the stand stays. All right, so place the rails in. That says max fill level, so that's the height of the water. And right there, that says front. And this looks like it fits in there nice and snug. So it's going to give the motor a good solid support. That's great. These 2 bolt holes right here are where the motor is going to mount, and so we'll pop this back out so we can mount that from underneath. Right, we're going to mount the head, this portion of the head to the frame. 6mm Allen wrench and a 14mm nut, and it's inside a sleeve. Place that on there. This does take a little bit of finagling. There we go. see it popping through there. So the bolt and sleeve go into the hole. There we go. Tighten that up. Careful not to pinch the hose. For now, just leave that like so. The pump itself has a dial here. It's a flow selector, that's on min, and that's on max, and you can select how much water you want. So just so you know that that's there. Right, the pump has little suction feet there on the bottom. Lick my finger and moisten them a tad. And stick the pump right where it says pump. Right, like that. The power cord comes under the rail, over the frame. And then this is going to get plugged into the back of the motor itself. This plug end has a rubber boot around it, which is nice. Keeps the water off it. And so we'll just plug that in. You gotta make sure the edges of the boot don't get caught in it. There we go. Good and tight. And then if any water splashes on it, it runs over the plug real nice. This is the plug for the actual saw itself. And this is the water hose. I'm gonna feed the hose over the frame, under the rail, and then connect it right there to the pump. I will say this hose is a real struggle to get onto that little housing. And the hose can get not in this notch right here behind the pump. All right, here's the tray, and underneath this is the lock for the tray top, and this is the underneath side right there. I'm gonna pull this all the way out so that it's like that. So it says to feed this from the front. These rollers need to fit underneath this edge right here. And then once that's, there you go. There's no wiggle on the tray, which is real important. Very smooth operation. And that locks the table. And when you want to move the table, you just pull it out. Again, it locks the table. And that's for if you're doing a plunge cut. We're going to install the blade. Just open that up. And then we're going to use the wrench that they provide and unscrew that. And pull the first washer off, that one stays. And this is the blade that they provided. Yeah, this is where the water is going to come out of and onto the saw blades. So this is going to go in between there, and the arrows point in the counterclockwise direction. Place that on there like so, and then the nut back on. Pretty tight. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and attach the splash guard, and there's a hole right here that coincides with that. A hole in the back in which this screw will protrude, and then this into that hole right there. It comes up. Now we can stick that portion right there in between it. We definitely want to get that, yeah, over like that. Now we can put this back in it. And that goes in between that rubber grommet. And we tighten it back up. Now we can attach the sides of this. This little tab right here there's a square hole at the top that it gets pushed into. And then this is gonna hook right on there. All right, last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and open this compartment up. This is the small Phillips screw. And this is where the AA batteries go. And that's gonna help power the laser. Okay. This lever here allows this to go deeper down or up. And then this right here allows the saw to do miter cuts. So with the tilting head, this miter gauge guide, put on it the angle that you need as far as that goes. So I think we're ready to fill this puppy with water up to the max line, which is right there. See how everything runs. And here's your on-off switch right there. All that remains is for us to give this a test cut and see how it performs. So we got a tile right here. We're gonna do 2 cuts on it. And I gotta say that blade being brand new, the saw cut that like butter. And yeah, I think we're off to the races. Great little saw. So far so good. That was, compared to my old saw, that was really nice. And having the sliding tray makes it much more exact, nice true straight line. Time to get to work. Only about 200 more cuts. Here's a good example of what this saw just cut, and that is thinner than my finger. I mean, really precise, and that's awesome. That's exactly what you want to be able to make cuts like that. Hope this video helps. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We've got lots of videos coming. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.